You know, growing up in a very rough home, probably the only good memories I have of childhood is being with the youth or even with the kids early on. They would go to youth camp one time, but the youth group that I would get involved with every now and then was great for me, and it showed me a part of life that I had never experienced before, and things that I had heard about but never seen personally. And the kids were just different, and it showed me that there is a different life. So when I had Joshua, and it was just he and I knew he had to be in church. And so as he became a teenager and getting a little older, and our church banished or dismembered their youth group, he needed to be plugged in somewhere for Joshua. And for a dad, just to look at him and know that though I train him in the ways he should go, he needs to experience God on his own level and with people his own age. And just that iron sharpens iron, and it's hard to do sometimes from a authoritative position. And that youth group just gives him an outlet to really seek after God. And other people who are right there at his own mentality level, and they've sought the same things growing up in church, and just seeing a different side of life that people can. And now his little friend Devin, big story like my own, just comes from a broken home, and he's a good little kid, good teenage boy. He just hasn't seen the good things of life, and coming here and being part of the youth and getting to go to camp and getting to do things that he's never gotten to do before, whether it's money or different things, is not being allowed, or just not even having somebody to take him or show him to show anything to him other than just what he's learned every day of his life, brokenness, sadness, and different things. And so that's what youth does. Youth group gives young men like Joshua, who grew up in the church, and young men like Devin, a fair ground to come together on, to learn about God together and learn different ways, and to figure out this thing called life. Eventually Joshua will leave home and he'll be on his own, and I'd like to think that youth group is what he'll remember, and the things that he got to do and learn about God on his own, not just the teachings that I've taught him or the life lessons that I give him on a daily basis, but the fun way of learning and the connection with God through a pastor, through the youth group, through other kids his own age, or those that are even just a little bit older that come back and share their experience in just that 2 or 3 years, what high school was like, and what they got to look forward to in college, and if they're doing the same kind of thing, and kind of giving them a path to go with, and really just showing them they're not alone. Devin, I've seen over the last year just a vision growing in him, and he's really searching. Honestly, when we ride in cars, he sings more Christian songs than Josh. It's always on his iPod. It's always on his stuff. He said, "Man, I have all this stuff," and so it's a great way to watch God search out this young man as he searches out God, and putting the two together. And majority of that, he's not big on church yet, but he likes youth group, and he likes being around other teenagers his age that maybe don't pick on him the way he gets picked on at school or at home, and he's treated fairly and just shown the love of God instead of just told about it.
I've grown up in church, and since I was little, and I've been saved for a while, but I constantly feel drawn to a certain group of people. I feel drawn to the people that suffer with social anxiety, depression, suicide, have attempted, and it's just where I feel God is drawing me to, because every day it's more and more people. More and more suffer and are drawn into this thought that that no one loves them, which isn't true, when we all know that we have an all-powerful God that loves everyone at the same time and doesn't want anything bad to happen to anyone. But these people are still doing it because we're not reaching out to them and doing what we should be doing as a church. Especially when it comes to preventing people from doing stuff like that. They need to know that there is a community and a God who loves them for who they truly are, no matter what they've done or are doing. No matter what they've been through, what they're going through, He's there for us no matter what we do. So something that I personally do feel very drawn to in helping people. I want to know the psychological standpoint of it, which is where school is going to come in handy. But I definitely feel drawn to helping people with mental issues, especially depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts or actions.
My name is Lexi Helen, and I have been on a couple of missions trips over the years, and I really enjoyed them. So I really want to help with missions in some sort of way. Probably not full time, but part of the time, and just telling people about God and helping them with whatever needs they need is a good way of serving, and I like to do it.
My name is Austin. I came to know the Lord when I was really young. I've grown up in church. I was about 5 or 6 when I accepted the Lord. Didn't really know much about it at the time. I think it was just kind of just wanted to do it, I guess. I don't think I really actually had the Lord in my life until I was about 12 or 13. My first time I went to a kids camp, and I really felt a connection with God there. And I don't know, that really changed my life, and it really got me thinking more, instead of in the moment and what am I going to do tomorrow kind of thing, it got me thinking more of what my future might hold and what I can do to help others and how I can, help change somebody else's life. And since then, I've gone all over the place, tried to help, wherever I can, and that's been my goal, is to just try to help people, really. That's why I've chosen the career path I'm in, and I chose to be an occupational therapist. That's what I'm studying to be right now, and that's what I'm working towards. Is mainly because it's in the medical field, and it's something I know I can do well, and I know I can help others with it. And I plan to one day raise a full household to God and just lead them and just raise up some really good kids and hopefully lead others to Christ along the way.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm 14 years old, and I've been going to church since I was just a tiny baby. I got dedicated, I think, at about the age of 1, maybe 2. And I've been going to East End for quite a while now, maybe around 5 years. And I really like it here. I feel like God has brought me here for a purpose. I have a lot of friends here, and I normally don't have this kind of experience in service. I always feel like God is calling me further into worship, and sometimes I feel afraid, but God, I feel like, is really calling me to do something here. I really feel like it's a great place to be. I love it here.
Okay. So for me, I've been coming to church here since I was, I think, like 8 years old. Pastor Dan would probably actually know better than me. And I think one thing that I've learned in youth group is I've just matured over the years. I came into youth being about 12 and a half, and now I'm like 20 and a half. So over the 8 years, I've definitely grown a lot, not only as a person, but as a Christian. And I think one thing that youth group has really allowed me to do is it's always been a safe place to ask questions and to have conversations with people that I know are safe people to ask those questions to. And what that's done is it's allowed me a place to grow into a more spiritual Christian and a more mature Christian. And over the years, I've started from the baby Christian, where you are just understanding the fundamentals, to where you're now growing more and more over time, and to the point where I'm one of those people, hopefully, that some of the younger people of the youth group can come ask me questions, and it's showed me how to become a leader amongst people my own age and people younger than me, and how to be kind of a guider, and hopefully I'm able to usher in the new people the same way that some of my youth leaders did for me. And I think one thing that youth group, I don't know if it's from the leaders that I've had or if it's from my own experiences, because I've been on both sides of it, but I really feel called to help people that just need someone to tell them that they can do it. I think so many times people feel like they're overlooked, or people feel like they don't have any friends, or they don't really have anyone that cares about them. And I think that so much of that just comes from they don't feel like they have a place, they don't feel like they have a purpose. And so I try to be the person that, you know, can go up to somebody and say, hey, you know what, you can do this, or you know, God has your back, you know, we have your back here. I feel like the most important thing that a youth group can offer is just a place for people to go and a place for people to be and know that they're welcomed. And I think that that's what God planned for me in the future. Is I think that regardless of what I do in my career or where I go after school, I feel like that's something that God's put in my heart in youth group, and I'm going to take that with me until I'm old.